A few episodes ago, I did an episode on this podcast which was called What Happens to Your Body When You Don't Feel Safe? And I'm going to be talking about some of the ideas in there. So you might want to listen to that to get a fuller idea. But it basically explained how our nervous system is split into three different sections, if you like. There's three different parts to it. There's the kind of okay part, when we're just sat there happily chatting to a friend. We feel safe. We feel that everything's okay. And then we move to fight or flight. If we feel threatened in some way, we get very activated, as though we're going to run away or fight a monster. And the third one is when we're still feeling unsafe and we haven't solved the problem, we go into shutdown. And in that episode, I was asking questions around, what helps you to feel safe? And I'm going to dig into that a little bit deeper into this episode, because there's many things that can invite us into safety or invite us into a different state from the one that we're currently in. So we might be shut down and want to get to a different state, or we might be very agitated and want to just calm ourselves down. And one of the very, very powerful ways that we can do that, which you'll see at any kind of family wedding party, is music. I say family wedding party because you'll sometimes see people sitting there, with not a lot of activity in them, maybe looking a bit glum as the night wears on, and it's like 20 to 10 and they've been there all day, and then suddenly a song comes on. The next minute their eyes are wide and they're up out of their seat and they're dancing onto the dance floor. And this is the power of music to change our state. And so there are certain songs which will really get us moving again. And from a shut down state, just a gentle return to energy is really helpful. And there are certain songs, especially ones with happy lyrics and a beat, when they're on and playing, your body really can't help, your muscles can't help but just tense into the beat. And it provides that gentle return to energy, which kind of moves us away from that shut down place and back into engagement with the world. And by the same token, when we're feeling agitated and activated and anxious and stressed and we're really wanting to calm down, there is certain kind of music that invites that as well. Now, Stephen Porges, who was the research scientist who came up with who discovered the fact that there were these three different parts of our nervous system, he has a saying where he says that the autonomic nervous system, which is what I'm talking about, is crying out for Johnny Mathis, he said. Now, I don't know whether you've heard Johnny Mathis before. It's probably only for listeners of a certain age, like myself, who remember Johnny Mathis. But he had a kind of a high voice, I suppose, and what you might call a prosodic voice. Now, prosodic voice is one that goes up and down. The kind of voice, I suppose, that you might hear someone talking to when they're talking to their dog or their baby. They go, "Hello there, hello." And in that sort of prosodic voice, it's very calming to us. It's that kind of social engagement that brings us back to safety, and you find it in music. So one place that I find it in music, which is really soothing, is in a lot of the Disney songs. And the one in particular is Mary Poppins. So if you listen to the Mary Poppins soundtrack, it is actually very soothing. And when one's feeling anxious and stressed and activated, it really is quite calming. Another piece of music, whether you're a fan of her music or not, it has the same effect according to at least one study. It's the music of Enya. Now, the music of Enya is just very soothing for the nervous system. So even if you're not a fan of Enya, even if you don't like her work, your nervous system kind of likes it. In fact, there was a study done, and her song Only Time was the song that had the biggest impact in terms of calming people down. But, music is a personal thing, and I'm guessing that it's going to be different for you than for others. It can be unique to you. And so I'm just curious, what are the songs when you're feeling kind of quite shut down and you don't really want to engage with the world, or you're tired or whatever, and this song comes on and it kind of gets you going again? It kind of rouses you back into the world, back into engagement. What are those songs for you? If you had to build a playlist, what are the tunes that would be on that playlist, where the aim was to get you out of that shutdown state into something a bit more bouncy? And by the same token, what are the pieces of music, what are the songs, what are the tunes that kind of calm you down when you're feeling a little bit agitated, when you've had a stressful day and you just put that song on or that piece of music, and it just invites you back to a nice, safe, calm place. Now, it might be Mary Poppins soundtrack, it might be Enya. For me, often it's George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue. What is it for you? What would your more peaceful, more calm soundtrack be? And the reason why this is quite an important thing is because when we change our state, we change our story. We change our story about ourselves, and we change our story about the world. And I've done this many times with clients. I've helped them map out their nervous system and the various states that we operate within that nervous system, and ask them just to identify how they view themselves and the world from that particular state. And as the state changes, so the story does. So when things are unsafe and we're shut down, we tell quite a pessimistic story about ourselves, like the world is futile, or I'm stupid and incapable. And then when we bring ourselves back to that safety again, the story just changes. We don't have to work on it. The story just changes. It's like, I'm okay. I'm capable. The world is full of good stuff. The world has resources in it. And so by changing our state and using music to change our state, it can often change the way we're actually thinking about the world too. So that's my question to you. If you want to go from shutdown to more bouncy and engaged, what's the playlist of songs that would do that for you? And if you're a bit too bouncy and are feeling anxious and agitated, what's the other playlist that will bring you back to calm and relaxed and safe again? Now, if you've liked the ideas in this podcast, you may want to work with me in person. My name's Alun Parry. You can find me at liverpoolpsychotherapy.co.uk, and you can work with me in person or you can work with me online. So you don't have to be local. We could still work together if you think that would be good for you. And if you've enjoyed the podcast, then thanks for listening, and please do share it with friends and family and anybody else who you think would like it. That's the idea, isn't it? So I'll see you on the next podcast tomorrow, and until then, thanks for listening and tatty bye.